Y'all already know what it is. We're going to head west. Luka, dagger. In last night's game 2 against the Wolves, Luka Doncic, he nailed a game-winning three-pointer with 3 seconds left over the Defensive Player of the Year. By the way, it's the second time that Doncic has made that shot in the final 5 seconds of a playoff game. And by the look on Jaden McDaniel's face and his reaction, he knew exactly what was coming. But Chris, there's not many players in the NBA that are better at manipulating their matchups than you, sir. So what did you see on that three from?
Man, that was such a tough shot, but that's Luka.
Yep.
That's Luka. You knew he was going to get to his spot. So when you look at this play, first and foremost, what you telling your team is you can't give up a three, right? So right here with this ball screen, they end up switching, right? If anything, you want to trap, make Derek Lively catch the ball, and then you don't want to help, right? You want to give up a two, but here's Luka. Everyone in the league knows Luka wants to step back left. He gets Gobert off balance, step back right. But that's why Luka is one of the best scorers in the world. Game over right there.
So Minnesota is down 1 at this point. They call a timeout. They still have the ball, though. What'd you see on the out-of-bounds play?
And when I seen this play, right, because us basketball heads, all the players, we always in the huddle trying to see what coach going to draw up, what coach going to draw up. So me here, I just wanted to give Anthony Edwards space. I just wanted to give him space, right? In a perfect world, what happens is Mike Conley stays here, Naz Reid goes and sets the screen and then goes into that right corner, because what you want to do is you want to give Anthony Edwards space so that he can get a shot off. Right here, Derek Jones is sitting right there and help in the perfect position. Naz Reid takes a makeable shot,
right?
But if you give Anthony Edwards space, that's who you probably want taking that shot.
Well, and Naz was 7 of 8 from 3 at that point, so you felt okay maybe about him taking it, but that is just a tough way to end. Bob, what did you learn about the Timberwolves in this game?
Well, I just learned Chris Paul might be a good coach if he wants to. That's pretty good.
I'm not quitting my day job. Get me?
I'm saying later down the line. What did I learn? One team has 2 guys that have been doing this for a long time, Malika, and are very, very good at it. Some of the best in the league. Kyrie Irving's done it. I was sitting on the floor when he made a shot from, I think, the right wing, which was a big shot to win a game, win a championship, really. But yeah, Chris, the hard part with all this, Malika, is in basketball there's hundreds of decisions that are made. But in these moments, these are the times where you can't make any mistake, any small mistake at all will cost you a game and potentially cost you a series. But for Edwards and Towns, Chris, you said something interesting. You said in a series to win, you got to win 4 games. Your stars win you 2, your coach wins you 1, and your bench wins you 1.
There's your recipe.
When is Minnesota's stars going to get the 2? Because right now, Towns and Edwards, they were 9 of 30 last night. They were 3 of 12 from 3. They got to show up.
And Towns was benched.
They haven't shown. I don't like the fact that he was benched. You got a guy, Karl Anthony Towns, in there. He can't be on the bench for the last 9 minutes again. I don't give a damn what's going on. You Finch, you got to have him out there. That just can't happen. Having said all of that, let's go to what Bob said. It's definitely about the stars. Kyrie and Luka have outscored Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards about 44 points in the first 2 games. I'm looking at the numbers here. They averaging 57.5. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Ant-Man is at 35.5. Field goal percentage shooting 47 compared to 30. 3-point shooting 39% to 30%. Come on now. This is the Western Conference Finals, right? You have got to stand. You got to stand up, and you got to make sure. Just make sure it ain't you. A lot of times we're looking at a lot of things. We're looking at a lot of people looking at clutch situations or what have you. In anything in life, you know what we say to folks? Just make sure it ain't you. Damn it, you don't be the one to mess this up. And we can't say that about them right now.
I don't disagree with a word you said, but these are 2 one-possession games. Right. Right? Despite all this, these 2 games are there to be had. And Minnesota, to me, I hate to be this critical of the Timberwolves, considering what they've done all season and what Finch has done. They reverted to like old Timberwolves. Right. There's a plethora, to use still one of your favorite words, of things that you can't have. You can't have no Cat and no Conley in these possessions late in the game. You can't. You cannot allow that switch. The one guy on this great defensive team you cannot have out there confronting Luka Doncic in space is Rudy Gobert. And people, to me, it does Gobert a disservice. People are saying, how are you going to be the defensive player of the year? No. There's no center in history you would want to have out there on Luka Doncic in that situation. So there's 3 things right there the Timberwolves did wrong.
You know what's so interesting about all these games that we've been watching is that it always comes down to the details. All of them. Seems like every time we get up here and start talking about the games, in the Indiana series, it was the baseline out of bounds. It was the turnovers at the end of the games, right? So everything, and I think about when I was in Phoenix, I used to say this all the time. We would come into practice, and Monty would have the plays from the night before. If a team lost because of offensive rebound, right, he always talked about the details. And we don't talk about the rest of the game, right? Yeah. For the most part, all of these games have been decided by crucial plays down the stretch.
Well, one of the things you've emphasized to all of us is the importance of coaching. And so that's what you're speaking to right now, because those details, obviously, the coach is the guy that's assigned to overlook that, right? We got to do that. But also, as observers on the outside, not necessarily, if your individual's not really understanding the nuance of things from time to time, you do know this. Anthony Edwards spoke up before the series. This is what he wanted. Yeah. And then as a result, you know, Kyrie giving it to you. And if you have the ball in your hands at that particular moment, you don't have to be 35 years of age with 12 years of experience to know we want you shooting that damn ball in that particular moment down, you know, as the clock wanes. We want that from you.
And especially the way, what Chris said, where the league is now, there's a lot of parity in these playoffs. Dallas they got a good shot to go to the finals. And not even a top 3 seed, and they're looking at it. So I think, you know, there was a time where there was some teams, Wilbon, that had a lot of big margin for error. You build a great route, you get a big margin. No more.
You think?
Not now. You don't have any.
Look, but you're right, Chris. The Celtics, they foul on that. Rick Carlisle's a great coach. If that game happens, if Anthony Edwards in the huddle says, hey, Naj Reid, give me some space. Just don't crowd me. I'll go to the basket. Tiny little things that change series.
Not even, we haven't even mentioned the turnover on McDaniels that probably should have been called a foul. Zach Zarba said so after the game, but they can't review it
that happened to
way.
You. Huh? That happened to you in the Warriors series in 2012. I was sitting right there.
Yeah. That's the worst feeling when you wake up. That 2-minute report.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Maybe they'll tell him in the summer.